So good morning. Thank you so much for being here. I know you guys are all super busy, so I really appreciate your time this morning. My name is Mike Moe, and I'm the Director of Tourism Development and Strategic Partnership for the Washington Tourism Alliance. This is the Go West Caucus, as you all know. And just so you know, I am recording this, and I'll send it out after, just so for those who can't make it today, they can review it later on. Now, the last time we did this, it was in person. It was in Boise, and this meeting, I think, was held at a tap house, kind of wine cellar situation. Unfortunately, obviously, we couldn't make that happen this time. But next year in Reno, I promise we will find a fun spot for the caucus. At any rate, I hope you all have something, something maybe not strong, but something, a cup of coffee or tea. This meeting is a chance for us to give everybody an update on what's happening in our business organization or region. The idea is that then all the attendees for Go West will have a better idea of what's happening around the state. Oh, let some people into the room here. And then they'll be better prepared for their meetings. As you know, when people visit Washington, they don't just come for your property or your city or your region. We really want to be able to, the better we can sell Washington as a product, the more effective we'll all be. And though we can't meet in a brewery somewhere, but because we're still living in this Zoom world, we might as well take advantage of its benefits. And so I invited actually all the DMOs to join us today. So even if you're not attending Go West, they can give us an update, and then all of our attendees will be even that much more informed. And I thought it would be just a good chance for all of us to learn, what's happening around the state. So I know that most Go West attendees this year are hardened veterans, but this is also a great time to ask advice. If you have an appointment coming up next week with an important potential buyer and you're wondering about the best approach to make a pitch, we have an amazing depth of experience on the line. So don't be afraid to ask. So let's go ahead and quickly go around the room and introduce ourselves, just so we have we know who's in the room. We'll have a chance to give the update, but I think we all should just know who's in the room first. So just please say your name and what organization you represent, and then we'll jump into the updates. So I'll just kind of go from my left and work my way around. So Maria.
Maria Alleman, Visit Tri-Cities.
Great. Chris LaFata.
Hi, I'm Chris LaFata with Argosy Cruises.
Hi, Chris. Deborah. Oh, you're on mute there, Deborah. It's got to happen, Lisa.
Trying to be polite earlier. I'm Deborah Hoskinson with the San Juan Islands Visitors Bureau.
Thank you for being here, Deborah. Ruth.
Hi, good morning. I'm Ruth Fitzgerald. I'm with Visit Spokane.
Great. Dalen.
Good morning. I'm Dalen Gibbard with Visit Walla Walla.
And Michelle.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Thana with Visit Vancouver, USA.
Great. Matt.
Matt Wakefield with Travel Tacoma Mount Rainier Tourism and Sports.
All right, Matt. Noelle.
Hi, Noelle Kim with Seattle Southside RTA.
Thank you, Noelle. Patty.
Hi, I'm Patty Denny with the Port of Seattle.
All right. Leslie.
Hi, Leslie Womack, Mayflower Park Hotel, downtown Seattle.
Thank you. Brad.
Hi, good morning. Brad Jones with Visit Bellevue.
Hi, Brad. John Boucher.
Good morning, everyone. John Boucher at Visit Seattle.
All right. Cheryl Foster Hayes.
Good morning, Cheryl Foster Hayes with Coast Hotels.
Thank you for being here, Cheryl. Sarah McHugh. Oh, you're on mute there, Sarah.
Good morning, Sarah McHugh with the Resort at Fort Ludlow.
Great. I had dinner there, right in that where your picture is.
Yes.
Yes. Andy Day. You're on mute, Andy.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Nice to see you all. Andy Day, Visit Long Beach Peninsula.
All right. Okay. So we'll get into the updates. I can go first, and I can give you an update on the WTA. The biggest news right now, of course, is that we're in the midst of rebranding the state for the first time in over a decade. That the brand that we've had has been a workhorse, but it's certainly time for something new. And as we dig out of this, COVID crisis, we wanted to be well positioned with something that really, truly represents our state. And so after a lengthy RFP process, we contracted with a creative agency named Adventure. They have an office in Seattle and have worked on multiple destination brands, including states. And uncovering the right brand is just, so important because it'll be a platform for all of our ads, marketing, communications, and even travel trade moving forward. So we started in earnest in November. we completed a comprehensive stakeholder input process. We had meetings in all 11 regions, engaged over 200 industry professionals. I know that some of you were on those calls, and it's kind of amazing because we're such a diverse state. But many of the themes that came out of these meetings were really similar or even the same. Whether we were talking to people in the San Juans or in the Palouse, there's something that we all kind of have in common that makes us Washingtonian. So it was really a gratifying experience. And we're not Disneyland. You don't come here on accident. It's really an earned experience. And in the end, the brand really needs to reflect that originality that we all share. So right now we're deep in the creative process, but we expect to have a launch date in late spring or early summer. And along with the brand, we're also redoing our website. When the website is complete, there will be an industry side with resources like research and tools for you to use the brand in your own business organization. We're also going to have a lead sharing tool for travel trade, and that's a place where we can easily store or disperse leads. The idea is that before you sit down with somebody at Go West or their travel trade show, you can actually go in to this database and see previous conversations and their outcomes, and that will only make you more effective in your conversation. We're also going to be offering travel trade educational workshops. I think a lot of you filled out a survey that we sent out a couple weeks to the DMOs. Our first workshop will be just a receptive tour operator 101. And this is a great chance for you to get your hotel partners the opportunity to learn why it's important to partner with receptives. And then future workshops are going to include best practices around travel trade agreements and how to successfully participate in a travel trade show. And so all these things are coming down the line. It's just a very exciting time to finally get the ball rolling, and we haven't had that kind of presence from the state level in so long. So now I want to give each of you all a chance to give us an update. Feel free, if you have a couple slides, you can share them with us, or you can just do it without the slides. So again, I'm going to start from the top and just kind of move my way down. And so Maria, you were on the line first, so you were up first.
Awesome. Well, hello again. I'm Maria with Visit Tri-Cities, and today I want to share with you some highlights from southeastern Washington state. We are located in the heart of Washington wine country. Yes, the heart of Washington wine country, with over 200 wineries within a 50-mile radius. If horseback trails through the vineyards, sunset dinner wagon rides, bicycle wine tours, and wine tasting with breathtaking scenic vineyard landscapes are not on the tour itinerary, groups can sample from craft beverages, cider houses, and distillery. Let's add some culinary delights to the craft beverages, from farm to fork with seasonally fresh produce paired with locally raised meats, multiple food truck location, taco crawls, 13 restaurants along the river with amazing river views, brought to you by the confluence of the Yakima, Columbia, and Snake River, which also offer amazing outdoor recreational options such as paddleboarding, wakeboarding, fishing, cycling, golfing, paintballing, axe throwing, rock climbing, or perhaps some skydiving for some of those most adventurous groups. From festivals to farmers markets to STEM tourism, including the Manhattan Project National Historic Park, home to the V reactor, the world's first full-scale nuclear reactor, additionally LIGO, Bechtel Planetarium, Ice Age Floods Scenic Flights, MC McBone's Mammoth Dig, Reach Museum, USS Triton Submarine Sail, Ice Harbor Dam, Hanford History Project. With all these options, there's sure to be something for all markets of the tour groups. We look forward to welcoming groups to Tri-Cities. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, that was great. Okay, up next we have Chris LaFata.
Hello again. So I am excited about Go West and talking about what's happening here at Argosy. We actually are getting ready on April 2nd to reopen with the Blake Island Fast Ferry. So running ferry from here back down at Pier 54 over to Blake Island, which we're very excited about. And then we will start a slow ramp up from there. So our harbor tour is going to start Memorial Day weekend. And then the Locks cruise and our Blake Island activities will start picking up about mid-June. Lots of changes, obviously, just like everybody else, I'm sure, on the screen here at Argosy, but we're very optimistic about summer. We are starting to see demand for some small groups as well as some private event demand, which is really exciting for us. I think the biggest kind of focus for me as I go into Go West. We'll be talking about Blake Island and the changes out there. So I think a lot of people are familiar with Tillicum Excursion or Tillicum Village and kind of what we've done in the past. This year, we are completely blowing up the model and have actually made the decision not to run large tours over to Blake Island. So in the past, it would be 350, 400 people at one time. We are now just going to be transporting people back and forth on the fast ferry. And then we've added options for activities once people are over on the island. So people will have an opportunity to buy add-ons like kayaking, stand-up paddleboard. We have some wineries coming out to do wine tastings and beer tastings. We've built some fire tables so people can rent a fire table. We will have a guided nature walk, and we still will have a cultural element. We've redone the Tillicum Theater. It's going to be a much more intimate experience than it's been in the past. So still definitely will have that culture piece for people that is really popular. And we are really, excuse the pun, but just all hands on deck, super excited to get our crew back in. We slowly have people. We're starting our hiring process and getting ramped up. So the next few months will be very exciting. And again, we're just really looking forward to welcoming people back to the waterfront.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Up next, we have Ruth from Visit Spokane.
So, hey, everybody. Good morning again. First, I just want to say hi from Charlotte Finnegan. You guys probably know her well. She was sorry to miss this today, but I'm going to try to fill in for her. Really surprisingly, 2020 was a significant growth year for Spokane. So yesterday we read that we were named 5th largest for inbound migration by the Updater report, meaning that there's a lot of people that are moving into Spokane. With this, I just want to touch on the fact that we really maintain really good airlift into our region. We actually added some new direct flights from LA, Orange County, and Atlanta. But most importantly for this audience, we've maintained our frequent routes that go in between Seattle and Spokane almost hourly to complete that ease of access from the west side into the inland northwest. I think our biggest news in our community is that we're midway through construction of a $53 million sportsplex that's going to bring world-class track events into our area starting in 2022. And what that means to our leisure travelers is that that's being constructed on the north bank of the Spokane River next to the Spokane Arena. There's a lot of revitalization that's happening and growth with new residential and commercial construction happening on that side. And within that, there was a historic building called the Wonder Building, and we've completely remodeled that, and now it has restaurants and coffee shops and weekly indoor farmers market. I think a lot of you have been to Riverfront Park before, but we're on the very end of a $64 million, 3+ years upgrade and restoration to Riverfront Park. It was built back in 1974, and it's kind of the anchor of our downtown, but it was getting a little bit tired. So included in this big restoration is a design and upgrade of all the public spaces and the infrastructure. We added a skate ribbon. It's to kind of describe like a lazy river, but with ice in the wintertime and then just concrete in the summertime so that you can rollerblade. We constructed the new Louvre Carousel building that now houses that beautiful, not a merry-go-round. Yeah, it's a merry-go-round. Or a carousel. That's what I'm looking for. But we added some event space to that. So we have indoor and outdoor event space there. I think the biggest change, and would you mind if I just shared my desktop for a second? The screen?
Yeah.
I just want to show you what this looks like in case you haven't had a chance to see it yet. But the biggest change was the addition. Can everyone see that okay? Okay, so we took down the old U.S. Pavilion that used to be in downtown Spokane and in the Riverfront Park, and we replaced it with this new light area, and it's an amphitheater that seats about 2,000 people in a grassy area, and then it has complimentary light shows like this that illuminate the night, and there's usually some music and things playing with it, and we do that on the weekends in the wintertime and then all summer long. We also added an 8,000 square foot park that was donated by Providence Health Services that is designed for children with physical disabilities. So it's completely accessible to them and gives them a really fun experience. And then we have a new regional park that's going into Spokane, which is massive. It's an Ice Age theme, not to steal that from you, Maria, but complete with climbing boulders and all types of interactive things to do that are safe and designed to be dynamic and fun for kids to play and to learn. I also wanted to share for a second that we are in the process of, we have a few things that are in the works. One of them is what's called an art walk. And that's going to start at our U district and go all the way through downtown over to Brown's Addition. And there'll be placards and that will point out statues and buildings and areas of historical interest in art along the way. A really fun, we're 2/3 through the approval process, so crossing our fingers that we get a zip line. It's going to be start up by the Spokane Falls waterfall, go along the river down into the Peaceful Valley area. And we're really close on that one, but we're excited about the opportunity of a new attraction. And then another thing that's being discussed now is a pretty good overhaul to Mount Spokane Ski Park. So last but not least, we always have itineraries at visitspokane.com. So there's about 6 or 7 of them that you can look at and share with anyone who'd like to see them. So thanks for the opportunity to give you guys an update on Spokane.
Thank you, Ruth. That was great. And I've been assured that the trash goat is not, that's not been touched. That's still there. So
the garbage goat is there and it actually works more often now. So sometimes if you went to the park and you went to put something in his mouth, his suction didn't work as well as it should have. But now he's been renovated and he will suck your trash whenever you want him to. So
it was literally nightmares for me. Okay, up next we have Dalen.
Morning again. Just quick update of Walla Walla. We got USA Today's #1 wine destination in 2020. We have over 130 wineries, 9 breweries, 4 cideries, 4 distilleries, #2 highest rated golf course in the state of Washington and #34 in the nation. We also are an epicenter of Washington state history and culture. Walla Walla is one of the first cities in the Washington territory. And I think that's about it for an update.
All right. Thank you, Dalen.
Yeah.
Okay, up next we have Michelle.
Yeah, so on our end, I think that there are a lot of opportunities for us because of our proximity to Oregon to kind of work with some groups that are already going into Portland or Oregon and get some of those Washington hotel room nights. And I think the Fort Vancouver National Historic Site is always going to be a big motivator for that because you can cross off 2 states and also visit a national historic area on the trip. And so just more of a reminder that there are lots of opportunities for like bus tours through the fort, and we're hoping they're bringing back the candlelight tours as COVID restrictions lift. So lots of great things there. In terms of news, our waterfront continues to grow. We're now up to 7 wine tasting rooms. One of the winery owners has kind of compared it to the Woodinville of Southwest Washington. So there's lots of opportunities for wine tasting right on the Columbia River. There's also lots of great restaurants there, and there's 2 hotel properties that will be coming in, hopefully one this year and one in spring of 2022. There's a Hotel Indigo, which will come in first, and then an AC Marriott that will open in 2022. We also have great outdoor recreation activities with the Columbia River Gorge National Scenic Area, as well as spots around the county like the Ridgefield National Wildlife Refuge, which is great for bird watching and great for kayaking. There's lots of water recreation activities between kayaking, stand-up paddle boarding, canoeing, and lots of great hiking opportunities, as well as bus tours through the gorge for folks that want to see the scenery but don't want to be as active. Also, our casino, ALNA Resort and Casino, is currently planning a 17,000-foot game floor expansion, and that will be followed by adding a hotel property. So the hotel property is going to be 300 guest rooms. We don't quite have an opening date for that yet, but ALNA has moved really fast on a lot of their projects, so we're kind of estimating that might come in 2022. And we finally also continue to be the point of embarkation for the American Empress cruises that go on the Columbia and Snake Rivers, going to Spokane, technically Clarkston, and round trip on the Columbia River.
Great. Long time ago, I used to work in those boats. All right, up next we have Matt Wakefield.
Cool. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. I'm gonna do that screen share roulette because hopefully it'll be what I want to pop up and not you guys trying to see that I can't spell aluminum. I'm looking up how to spell it. Let's go. Okay, so slideshow. All right, just figuring this whole thing out. If you haven't heard City C from us, that's our fault. You probably should have. We always talk about the national park icon, Mount Rainier, which is in our metropolitan sea, saltwater sea, all of those. Updates on the mountain. The big right now is Wilkeson. If you haven't heard of Wilkeson, you will. It was a bunch of abandoned storefronts that hadn't been updated for 120 years. But now they have the best coffee, like this ultra high design, gravity filtered coffee place moved in a couple years ago called Nomad. And then they were kind of the anchor. And then Simple Goodness Sisters moved in. They have a farm where they grow their herbs and then they make these infusions that become ice cream and become cocktails and become sodas. So it's a soda shop where there's been a soda shop for like the last 70 years. So it's, I mean, amazing place. If you've never had Marionberry mint ice cream, you should. And so that's really a cool, like Instagrammable place that people are coming to.
Pizza in the state too, right?
Yeah, they just named, Seattle Times just named it the best pizza she's ever had or something like that. And I've been telling people about for years, so I'm finally glad people picked up on it. But so what I'm saying is, like, Wilkeson has 500 people there and they have only like 4 businesses and 3 of them are the best at what they do. So their batting average is just absolutely stellar. So it's just become this really culinary place in the middle of nowhere. It's right by one of the entrances to Mount Rainier, but it's not like the more common entrances. So that's why we call it, and that's why I have it categorized under mountain, is because it's right by the Carbon River entrance. So anyway, I mean, there's 5 registered places on the National Historic Register places in this little town of 500 people. So it's kind of awesome. The city side of things, it's all about hotels. The Marriott just opened up late last year, 300 rooms connected to the convention center. It's a luxury hotel with a rooftop pool, which is apparently a common theme among hotels that are opening up in Tacoma right now. So it's right on the free to ride light rail line that goes through the middle of Tacoma, all that. So it's gorgeous property, brand new. And then down on the waterfront, let me see if I can get this one right. The name, the Cloud Hotel Tacoma at Point Ruston Waterfront. They just like they had one of those brainstorms where there's no bad ideas and they just decided to put all the words in it. So this is there. It's a resort, our first waterfront resort style, pure luxury spa, top level restaurant, rooftop pool deck with an event space up there. It's pretty much as on the water as you can get. And so that's, and the sea is pretty much the sea. It's still here despite
how many rooms is that Silver Cloud?
194. And yeah, 304 for the Marriott. And sorry, and this one, the Silver Cloud should open up in the next, I think, 2 months or so. It's coming along. It's going to be beautiful. The weird thing is now we have 2 waterfront hotels. One of them is kind of like an inn. One of them is kind of this luxury place, and both of them are Silver Cloud. So they really have the monopoly on Tacoma waterfront. Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on around here. Mountain City Sea.
Well,
let's stop sharing this. I don't know how to stop sharing.
Thank you, Matt. Yep. Let's see, Deborah. Next.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's great that I'm following Matt actually, because I'm kind of an extra. I'm not doing Go West this year. It's kind of hit or miss for me. The last Go West we went to was in Tacoma, where I made this beautiful little glass paperweight. So anyway, hopefully we'll be there soon. And in fact, I was going to mention, thanks so much for doing your workshops, Mike, because that's our problem here. Our members don't see the value because they can sell their rooms or sell this or that retail. So I'm really working hard to get some members to work with receptives. But the San Juan Islands, you know, we have 4 ferry served islands. In general, we only promote 3 of those: Lopez, San Juan, and Orcas, for those of you who've been here. And we're, of course, all about outdoor recreation, whale watching, wildlife watching, hiking, biking, kayaking. And then we've got a really great food scene here too. A lot of great little restaurants with some chefs up from Seattle and other wonderful areas, and local liquid arts. So wine, beer, cider, and gin. And then, so what's kind of new here is that the Washington State ferries, which do serve the islands, of course, they will not be serving Sydney, BC this year. So it just was too late to get into the schedule for summer schedule. We're not sure. Plus, you know, we don't know when the border will really open. So hopefully the coho, you know, from Port Angeles and whatnot will connect people to Sydney this year. We have our Pelindaba Lavender Farm is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. They do have shops around the country actually, but their best ones here in the farm, of course, are on San Juan Island, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Moran State Park on Orcas Island will be celebrating its 100th birthday. And they will have a brand new interpretive center at the top of Mount Constitution, which is the highest point in the San Juan Islands at about 2,400 feet, where you can kind of get a 180-degree view of Bellingham and other mountains and islands. And then last but not least, our San Juan Island National Historical Park is building a brand new historical interpretive center. They've had a mobile home that was supposed to be, you know, just there for a while and ended up being there for 40 years. So it's a pretty impressive looking building on the south end of San Juan Island. And a lot of times the state and or Seattle talk about our national parks, and we're often forgotten, but we have the San Juan Island National Historical Park. It's got 2 units, American Camp and English Camp. And this is where the last standoff between the Americans and British happened. And the only thing that died was a pig during the pig war crisis. So those are my updates from the San Juan Islands. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Deborah. Up next, we'll have Noelle. Kim.
Hi, everyone. So if you don't know where Seattle Southside is, I am right at SeaTac Airport, so between downtown Seattle and downtown Tacoma. This year, we're really focusing on our local community and enhancing the diversity in our region. We have a campaign called Seattle Southside Scenes, where we are creating short videos on the history, the arts and culture of our region. I believe we have 2 out already, but some examples. Like in Des Moines, the marina, it has a history of bootlegging. There's a bootlegging scandal right during Prohibition. The Zenith Holland Gardens, if you've never heard of that, they are the oldest business in Des Moines, which opened in 1907. In SeaTac, we are going to be promoting the Robert Morris Earthworks Park. And that place is actually recognized as the first permanent land reclamation sculpture in the country. And so that's really cool for SeaTac. And then in Tukwila, there are the Duwamish Gardens, which has a very interesting history of the Italian immigration to the Pacific Northwest. And it is known as a food processing site for Native Americans, or one of the first ones. So we will be creating short videos with a focus on social media, of course, to promote these and getting a lot of our community and locals involved. And then Tukwila, they just opened an international food hall to show all the diverse cultures in Seattle South Side. So there are, there's a Filipino restaurant, there is an Ethiopian, I believe a Nigerian, and I think there's going to be about 5 more openings. So we're really excited about that. And we're also doing videos on the women and how their connection to food is showing their culture off as well. So it's something to really check out in Seattle Southside. Other than that, those are my top two going on for this year. And yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Thanks, Noelle.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, we have Patty Denny from the Port of Seattle.
Well, hi, everybody again. Just wanted to give you a little bit of information on what's happening at SEA. For the UK market, which is a really important international market for us all, Delta this year will be taking over the Virgin Atlantic route. American Airlines will be starting new direct service into Seattle. BA will continue to fly. Aer Lingus will be starting up again when the time is right. And of course, Iceland Air provides great connections, not only into the UK, but also onto the continent. I have a document that I will share with Mike that sort of outlines what's happening right now at SEA, who's flying now, and who has confirmed that they will fly. And he can share that with you all. In regards to cruise, have to smile because perhaps you all have been watching the drama in regards to what's happening or what's not happening with Alaska Cruises. The latest tale for the saga is that Congress has sent an official letter to Canada saying, please allow us a tax stop at Victoria. Stay tuned. Can't say, exactly what will be the result of that letter. But I can say that RCL and RCI would really like to have some kind of a cruise season to Alaska. Of course, we would like to see that also. And our dear friends in Alaska would sincerely like to see that. We've been focusing a lot in 2020 with our 3 international offices that we've been able to keep open. We have an office in Australia, an office in the UK, and an office in Germany, sharing inspirational press releases just to keep the destination on the radar. Subjects have included everything from celebrating Jimi Hendrix's 50th anniversary to 10 ways you're in the Pacific Northwest. We've created a new cruise and stay guide. We've created online platforms for actually training the travel agents around the world on what is the infrastructure in Seattle for cruising, and what are the opportunities for extending a stay into Seattle and then in Washington State. So for the new Washington State itineraries that we've developed, we, working with Visit Seattle, have created some special itineraries that are being featured by key receptors for our region. Bonatel launched a special Seattle program in December, which was really, really awesome. We can't exactly see the campaign because it's on their confidential travel trade site, but the information that they shared with me was just great. We have a special itinerary with ATI, and that actually is being launched this month because it's included in their new tariff manual, which is being distributed around the world. We're working with Rocky Mountain Holiday Tours, who will be launching a fly drive program in May. We're actually the first destination that Rocky Mountain Holidays is doing a marketing program with, and we're really excited about that. And then I don't know if you all were able to tune into the inbound presentations by Go West this week. Travel Co., who is the director for the International Inbound Association, was a key speaker. And they also have some new itineraries for the destination. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible for the tour operators to actually do business with us when the time is right. And I'd like to just share with you that if you have any information that you would like for our international offices to put out there on your behalf, if you have any follow-up that you would like for us to help you with in these markets, just let me know, because it's a win-win for everybody. And with that, I think that basically is my update. Stay tuned on that cruise story.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you so much for everything you've done for the state. And you guys have been just an invaluable partner. And really kept our international exposure up along with Visit Seattle and many others while PTA was not here. So we really appreciate your.
Thank you.
Oh. Leslie?
Okay. Well, I have to say I'm excited to hear all of the presentations by the DMOs of what's going on in our state. It's just, it's exciting to hear. We're a historic hotel right in the heart of downtown, and we've stayed open. We are getting ready to open Oliver's, our lounge and bar. And so we're excited about that. But more importantly, I'm excited about my partners in attractions and other transportation that's opening up and coming back, because it's making downtown rich. And so I am just looking forward to all of my friends and neighbors getting back on board. And I'm also really excited. I mean, we've been in the receptive operator business for a really long time. And so it's also exciting to see the fly drives and the way that our operators have pivoted and created some new products. So I think we have a lot to offer them. And I'm just excited moving forward.
Thank you, Leslie. And boy, if you need a hotel that's really benefited from travel trade, I mean, you guys are it, and we really appreciate your expertise here. Okay, next we have Brad Jones from Visit Bellevue.
Good morning, everyone. It's my morning to play director of sales. All of our sales team is out with site visits today, so you get me. I apologize. Thanks for all the updates. I've made a list of new vacation ideas for this year already, so appreciate that. A little bit about Bellevue. Bellevue is continuing to grow. It's obviously one of the fastest growing areas in the state. We have a lot of new hotel product coming online. We have about 1,250 new hotel rooms in our pipeline for the next few years. That'll be highlighted by our new Intercontinental, which will be connected to all our shopping and dining. That's about a 300 key project coming online, probably in early 22. Also, we're excited when a lot of people think of Bellevue, they think of one of the world's foremost shopping and retail destinations. We have a lot of great retail, and that's alive and well, featuring a lot of world known brands, national and international brands. And we have some expansion that will be announcing here soon to Bellevue Square. We'll be adding almost 1 million square feet to Bellevue Square, and then a couple new key tenants at the Bravern, which is a great retail destination as well. Also, we're excited about the impending opening of the light rail link. That'll be coming it'll be finished in 22. They say it'll open late 22, a little ahead of schedule. And that will connect Bellevue to the stadiums, downtown Seattle, all the attractions, and the airport with direct connection. We're very excited about that. Also, we're right at the edge of where kind of the city meets the outdoors here, and we've had a lot of success packaging that outdoor experience, those outdoor experiences. We've teamed up with REI and REI Experiences, and they offer seasonal experiences. This spring, we're highlighting a waterfall itinerary that they lead from here. Also, we have great hiking, seasonal snowshoeing experiences, alpine lakes experiences, and kayaking and SUP experiences for groups through REI Experiences. So that's been fun and exciting. We also highlight our Bellevue Zipline Park. For those of you who've been there, it's a great park. We have 9 zip lines through a very dense canopy. And then the Bellevue Botanical Garden is a tremendous place to take in the nature, and also I would say a great place to see the sunset with Bellevue and Seattle in the background. Lastly, our culinary offerings are continue to grow, and we're a much celebrated, kind of diverse and multicultural culinary destination. And then those of you who know Bellevue, we're a headquarters for not only tech, but gaming industry. We have over 30 headquarters of gaming companies, and we've developed several itineraries around that. It's very popular. We're home to Bungie, Valve, Microsoft, Final Strike, Drop Force, a lot of these companies that are on the leading edge of gaming development. So we've developed some weekends and packages around that. So with that, it's nice to see you all, and I'm done.
All right, thank you, Brad. Appreciate it. John, Visit Seattle, you're up next.
Thanks, Mike. Good morning, everybody. I think zip lines are officially trending in the group. That's impressive. It's certainly been a tough year for everybody, I know, and we've felt the impacts of COVID and so many other things in Seattle. A lot of familiar faces from our team are no longer with us, unfortunately, and some of our tours and managers that would typically be at Go West, especially, and also our international agencies in 7 different markets, Europe and Asia, we've put on pause at the moment. We're bringing back a couple of them on a project basis, very much in alignment with Patty and the Port of Seattle, and looking at the UK market and Europe as being an opportunity for us initially, at least as we look at international markets. Chris and Leslie alluded to, I think, a lot of the reopenings that we're starting to see in the downtown core, which is just such a welcome sight. And I think some momentum finally for us in Seattle, some light at the end of the tunnel, which has been great. So we're seeing a steady trickle of museums and attractions reopening. We still have around a dozen hotels that are temporarily closed, all of which we're hearing have plans to reopen here in 2021. Most of which for the peak season in the summer. Everyone will always get the what's new question. We actually had a hotel open in the middle of the pandemic, the Lotte Hotel Seattle. That's a Korean brand for those not familiar. And the hotel project was actually originally slated to open as an SLS years ago. So it has gone through many iterations, but it's open, beautiful property, luxury 4-star hotel. It's 189 guest rooms, I believe, centrally located downtown. Looking forward, I would just echo Patty's comments. We're certainly looking forward to that international arrivals facility opening, really becoming, I think, a point of differentiation as international travelers decide how they want to enter the US, and positioning Seattle as a preferred gateway. It's going to be a tremendous experience. I've walked through a couple of times, and even with a hard hat on, it's a breath of fresh air as compared to the current experience that I think we've all probably gone through a time or two. And again, as Patty mentioned, we're starting to see some flights resume, some new routes as well. In addition to that London flight that American is launching, they're also launching a Shanghai flight the next day. They have plans for a Bangalore flight in October that are still in motion. JAL's resuming its Tokyo flight March 2nd. The Middle East, we saw a new route, Qatar to Doha. Emirates resumed its Dubai service. So again, there's some momentum, which is just so wonderful to see. Kind of staying on the infrastructure trend, we have Climate Pledge Arena opening this fall. I'm sure you've all been kind of seeing some of the news there. This is going to be, as they put it, the most progressive, responsible, and sustainable arena in the world. And just really excited to have another demand driver in the downtown area. They have ambitious plans for something like 300 live events a year. Of course, the NHL and the Seattle Kraken being part of that. And then just some longer term improvements and enhancements to the city. Certainly our waterfront's going through some great development for the next several years that will become a more green and park. Chris is smiling because she's had to endure so much over the years with construction. Light at the end of the tunnel there for sure. Brad alluded to the light rail expansion across the region, which I think is a great asset for visitors and locals alike. That's going to help, I think, just connect our various destinations in the Puget Sound region, which is fantastic. Not as applicable to these markets, but just for the good of the group, we also are going to have a lot of clarity in the next month on our convention center expansion project. Certainly at this point, waiting on the state to commit to some funding, and they're in session. So by the end of March, we hope to have a big old thumbs up on that, which has been hanging in the balance for far too long and making us all nervous. So just an important note for you all there. As you're meeting with travel trade, if folks do have Seattle questions, I would just comment, we have online image libraries. We have our online content channel for video. Our travel planner's guide is online. I can send links to all of that to the group. We do have an online travel agent training program with Brand USA, their discovery program that's in 14 different markets and languages. Just a great entry level program for travel agents to just sign in and learn about Seattle. And I think just, my approach in going into Go West is really updating all of our key travel trade partners on what's happening in Seattle. I think for a lot of them, they have questions about who's my contact at a property, an attraction, bridging those gaps and filling any holes, as I'm sure you're all doing as well. So any questions you have as folks want to, talk Seattle, you certainly have a great resource in Patty and the Port of Seattle, myself and Visit Seattle. Happy to help and get this done together as a team. So thanks for being here and thanks for the time, Mike.
Thank you, John. Just reiterating, like I said with Patty, thank you so much for all that you've done over the years. Kind of keeping the effort going. It's been great. Okay, up next we have Cheryl.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I am in a national sales role for Coast Hotels, and we're a collection of 40 hotels in the Western US and Western Canada with a concentration on the West Coast. So in Washington State, we have 4 properties. We have Coast Gateway Hotel at SeaTac Airport. We have Hotel 116 in Bellevue. We have Coast Wenatchee in Wenatchee, Washington, and Coast Hilltop in Pullman, Washington. Traditionally, we're 3 to 4 star properties, more boutique style in nature, very, tour operator friendly, and more so in FIT, but we also do some groups as well. Some of our brand standards are comp Wi-Fi, triple sheeting in all the guest rooms, a Starbucks in-room coffee and tea program. We have a Coast Clean initiative throughout the brand, which addresses enhanced sanitation protocols post-COVID. So that's, prominent on our website. And our US headquarters is in Seattle, downtown. I'm attached to that office. And then our Canadian headquarters in Vancouver, BC. So we are in the US states. We're in Washington, Oregon, California, Alaska, and Hawaii. So that really is it. You know, we're open to working with receptives and any of our hotels in Washington state, and we do currently work with a lot of them, you know, in particular ones that were mentioned. So I can be a resource for any of the Washington state hotels or for the chain in general.
Great.
That's my update. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sharon.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, we have Jennifer from Visit Yakima.
Hi. Yakima Valley is really a wine country destination. We're the birthplace of Washington wine, and we have more than 120 wineries in the Yakima Valley AVA. Some people don't know that we are the biggest hop growing region in the world, so we also are home to a wonderful craft brew trail. And both of those are really some of our key attractions for visitors. So what's new with those right now is that in response to restrictions on indoor service, a lot of them put all their time and energy in the last year into creating or expanding wonderful outdoor spaces under sunny skies. So that's just going to continue to be a great experience for everyone going forward. Something else that's new with them is that several of our wineries have actually opened unique lodging options right on site at the winery or in the vineyards. And so it creates a wonderful immersive wine country experience. We are also really centrally located with all types of different recreation all around the valley, from fishing, hiking, biking, paddling, all of the above. And so we have several new operators that have started really within the last year, offering excursions to private individuals, groups, offering clinics and everything from mountain biking and trail running, stand-up paddle boarding, snowshoeing, yoga snowshoe, river paddle boarding, and pretty much everything that you can think of, cycling throughout the vineyards. And so those have been really great and really popular experiences as folks really want to get outside for their travels, and especially with the road trips that we expect to have people taking here going forward. So if you can't forget, it's not new, but Yakima has 3,000 farms in our valley. And that means that we have a wonderful way for people to come out and actually get out on the farm. We have U-Pick from May through October, and everything from berries, cherries, pumpkins, peppers, apples, and more. And of course, our restaurant chefs proudly serve produce picked just minutes away. So we have some great dining options, some really unique dining options opening up all around the valley, including a fantastic experience at one of our wineries with a new restaurant right on site. So that's really what's going on around Yakima.
Great, thanks, Jennifer. Next, Andy Day, Long Beach.
All right, thank you. So wow, this is so great to hear all of these new and exciting things that you guys are all doing in your areas. I'm really glad to attend this. It's like taking a trip across the state. And then unlike all of you, that we don't really have much new. But we think that what we have is a really good fit for the times. And so I would, let me do a little, just threw a few pictures together here. And let's see, y'all got that? So yeah, I mean, this stuff is, I guess what we're really talking about right now is the expansive, no crowds, the 28-mile long beach, and it's all part of a conservation area. We're, really a great position for the road trip, in between Seattle and Portland. Especially for the RVers, we even though for those looking for a rural experience, we only have 5,000 residents, but we've got over 3,000 units of inventory, and lots of great restaurants and so many things to do that are almost all based, outdoors, and no crowds. So I would say, we can't make any guarantees, but it's very COVID smart for those that are still feeling a little cautious or insecure. And then I think too, it's just, the photography, the beach going, the trail, we're kind of, getting back to those very fundamental activities that are such a great fit for our area. And we do have one thing that is new. We do have a new visitor center and birding installation. There's a birding blind, and it's all part of the Willapa National Wildlife Refuge. So birders will be very excited to know that. It's a beautiful facility, and there's more coming with that too. And of course the boardwalk is always a hit. We've got the two state parks, you know, Cape Disappointment on one end of the peninsula, and then Ledbetter State Park on the other end. And of course our, you know, and this is in Cape Disappointment State Park. So just a little teaser there. And I won't take up any more of your time.
Awesome. Thank you, Andy. Up next, we have Anique Bennett. I think she's still on the line. Oh, there she is. And you wanted me to share my screen, right? Okay.
Good morning. Yes, if you'd be so kind as to just drive for me this morning. I just have a single slide. Good morning, everyone. My name is Anique Bennett. I'm the tourism manager here at Seattle North Country. We'll hopefully get the slide up here so you can see what I'm referring to as Seattle North Country. Many of you know us as Snohomish County, the destination that's about 2,000 square miles, occupying the space, much of the space between Seattle and the Canadian border. I'm being a little bit greedy, and when I say that, we of course have our partners in Skagit Valley, Skagit and Whatcom, that are between us and the border. We're a very sizable destination, and we talk about this place in terms of visitor regions to help folks understand what is a very, very diverse destination. In the coastal communities of the Salish Sea of Seattle North Country, we're most well known for the Boeing Tour, and the Future Flight Gallery, which we are so happy is reopening to the public now. We also, in that close proximity to the Boeing Tour, are so excited to have the Propeller commercial air terminal at Payne Field. And this is a boutique terminal that is different from most any other that you've visited. It's an award-winning, very intimate experience that gives us connectivity in Seattle North Country to many different destinations in the state and on the Pacific Northwest coast. So currently, right now, we have reduced flies for out of Payne Field, but we are open to Denver, Phoenix, and Palm Springs, but certainly our fly routes are much more extensive than that. We fly to Portland, San Francisco, LA, Spokane, and San Diego, as well as other destinations. So this is huge for us. Giving us this kind of easy proximity would be really a great way to bring our visitors right up into the heart of the true PNW. In our urban base camp, this is an area that's a cluster of very, very highly developed communities. Linwood is here, Bothell you'll find here, and specifically Linwood, as we are enjoying the onset of light rail, and we're hoping by 2024 to offer straight direct service right down to Seattle to the convention center and stadiums, and this is huge for us. The Northgate Mall closing just in North Seattle has pushed up so much retail activity into our area. The communities are changing. The connectivity that's coming on has influenced our conference industry, our capabilities in that area. New properties are springing up, and the community itself is just filling with young people, lots of energy and fun nightlife. We also have two, as you can see on the screen, the Stillaguamish Sauk River Valley, which is a very vast area. We really do know this place. Most folks would know and think of them for wild and scenic backcountry experiences. If you want to get off the grid, the Stillaguamish Sauk River Valley is the place where that happens. In the summertime, it hosts some very notable large multi-day festivals, and bluegrass is home here in the Stillaguamish River Valley. A long time heritage festival happens. Also the Summer Meltdown, which brings thousands of people for a 3-day outdoor celebration, round the clock music, and a lot of fun there. And Stillaguamish Tribes also does Festival of the River. This is a huge multi-day a festival that happens in the summer in August. We have airports all throughout the county, and the Stillaguamish River Valley up in Arlington is no different. So we do have a small airport there that hosts festivals and events and has its own culture of aviation. The Sky Valley, on the other hand, is very much known for its antiques in Snohomish. A lot of craft beverage cultures are thriving there. Around its very nature of its agritourism heritage, we have many, many agritourism farms that are just loaded with visitors through the fall and winter seasons. Lots of fun hands-on opportunities that are very well curated for the public and families. We also are enjoying working with REI on outdoor experiences. We launched this year in Snohomish with some stargazing kayaking tours. But we also do, not with our REI just yet, but we have many ATV kinds of experiences, off-roading parks up in the Sky Valley, and also the Stevens Pass ski area, which we are so grateful to Vail Corporation for taking that ski destination over and bringing some of the Vail touch to it. So we are a big county. We are striving very hard to make a good digital presence on our website, Seattle North Country, where we hope that you can find a lot of information, and then also through our social media. So it's just great to be with you and hear all of the updates and information and see everybody's faces. So thanks so much for letting me share.
Thank you. And I know that we're a little bit over time, but we do have one more with Port Ludlow Resort, and I want to make sure that we're getting everybody. Hi, Diana.
Hi, everyone. I'll try and be quick because I know everyone's very busy. I'm going to share my screen. So really, as Long Beach was saying, we're that place to get away, relax. I think take the weight off your shoulders. Many of our customers that come here say, they cross the Hood Canal Bridge and they just feel like, I can relax, it's okay, even during COVID. And we're 6 miles across the Hood Canal Bridge. We're the gateway to the Olympic Peninsula. The Olympic National Park is about 2 hours from us, but it's an easy day trip. So just in looking at Port Ludlow, one really cool thing that we've talked about as an itinerary is come into Seattle area or into the Portland area and all in between. And then take a Kenmore flight to us. It takes about 15 minutes. That's this top picture. And you can be in Port Ludlow. You can enjoy that relaxation, farm to fork, an award-winning wine restaurant, and able to experience nature, tour, a lot of different hiking, biking, boating, kayaking, all those kinds of things. And so just a quick picture here. An exciting thing is we're doing a refresh to our 37-room hotel, which we're very excited. And we have a golf course, the marina, the restaurant as mentioned. And then just looking at, what's there to see and do around us. So as most of you mentioned, we have whale watching right out of Port Townsend. During non-COVID, we have theater and music. Maritime Center is very close to us, Farmers Market. We actually did a new map on our restaurant wall that shows that within 18 miles, we source most of our food. And in that 18 miles, we also have cideries and some wineries and, just a variety of ways to get back to nature. And I think that was, the other thing that we're working on that's pretty big across the United States is the rail to trail. There has been, there's a discovery trail now that goes out of Port Townsend area. And there was a big blank box when they came across the bridge. So we're working with them to see if we can bring that trail through Port Ludlow and out to Port Townsend. So we're really excited to start working on that process. And that's all I have.
Great. All right, thank you. Do we get everybody? I think we did. I'm sorry, I should have made this a 90-minute meeting, I guess. That was fantastic, just learning about everything. So what I'm going to do is I'll send out the recording to everybody who was on the call and everybody who wasn't on the call, just so people get a chance to review it. I'm also going to call out, ask you if you have materials that you want to share. Not a ton of them, like maybe one or two. We can share with the group. I think that would be useful for everybody. And for those of you who are attending Go West, I hope you have an amazing show. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike.
Hope you have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.